On August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King, Jr., delivered the historic I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C., inspiring thousands with hope for equality among all people. This iconic speech was not King's only eloquent call for equality. Just 4 months earlier, King had penned a letter now famous for its sophisticated persuasive arguments. Although King wrote this letter from jail, its effects were far-reaching. Prominent clergyman and American civil rights leader, Martin Luther King, Jr., advocated nonviolent protest to achieve equal rights for African Americans in the 1950s and 1960s. In 1963, King and other nonviolent protesters descended on Birmingham, Alabama, in an attempt to end the city's racist policies. These protests included sit-ins, marches, and boycotts. King's plan was to pressure businesses to eliminate segregated areas in stores and to force businesses to offer employment to people of all races. During these protests, King and other civil rights leaders were arrested and put in jail. Several white Alabama clergymen published a statement criticizing King's actions. They argued that the battle of racial equality should be settled in the courtroom. They urged King and other civil rights activists to negotiate with local leaders if their rights were being denied. The clergymen also disapproved of the tension that the protests created in the city. While in the Birmingham jail, King wrote a letter in response to the clergymen. He wrote the following. You may well ask, why direct action? Why sit-ins, marches, and so forth? Isn't negotiation a better path? You are quite right in calling for negotiation. Instead, this is the very purpose of direct action. Nonviolent direct action seeks to create such a crisis and foster such a tension that a community which has constantly refused to negotiate is forced to confront the issue. It seeks so to dramatize the issue that it can no longer be ignored. King's letter was published in a variety of periodicals, including magazines and newspapers. It caught the attention of the world, making equal rights an issue no one could possibly ignore.